the importance of the AI first contact center and the importance for every one of you to become AI first leaders. But before we can properly understand the impact of generative AI in the contact center, I think we need to step back for a moment and really think about what is a contact center. I put it to you that contact is a bug, not a feature of an organization, because customers don't call or chat with you because they want to. They do it because they have to. Something went wrong with a product they bought broke, or they can't make it work, or a service, perhaps their cell phone contract didn't get set up properly, or a process, perhaps their item wasn't delivered on time, or when it arrived, it was broken. Every contact is a bug report. I think Bill Price, Amazon's first SVP of customer experience, put it really well in his book, The Best Service is No Service. Bill encourages us to consider every contact from the perspective of the business and the customer. And if that contact is irritating, he encourages us to simplify it, eliminate it, or automate it away. But this can only get us so far. There are no bug-free businesses. Some fixes are just too technically challenging, or maybe they're economically unviable. It could be that a problem hasn't been detected until now, or it's recently detected and hasn't been fixed yet. And that is why contact centers need humans, smart, helpful, resourceful humans who can work around those bugs in our businesses. But this has changed now. We're witnessing the birth and the evolution of AI agents. AI that's smart, helpful, and resourceful. And this is what makes the AI first contact center possible. You see, the AI first contact center has no limits, because we can use AI to derive insights into the content and the quality of every conversation that our customers are having with us. We can use AI to automate the vast majority of contact that we receive. And we can use AI to empower agents to solve the thorniest issues in our businesses. And critically, we can use AI to drive ever faster cycles of optimization. So the AI first contact center is limited only by the quality and the quantity of AI that we can bring to bear. And AI is getting better, faster, and cheaper all the time. This graph from ARK Invest shows GPT-3, the predecessor to ChatGPT, crashed down in price at an analyzed rate of nearly 90%. GPT-4, ChatGPT's successor, crashed down at an annualized cost decline of 92%. And with the release of GPT-4o, that 90% annualized decline just got confirmed again. GPT-4o is better, 2 times faster, and half the price of its predecessor. Now, I wonder if you'll let me just step back a moment and indulge me in a little story about how this all began for me. This is my ZX Spectrum 48K. It's a little tiny microcomputer that my mum and dad bought for me when I was about 10 years old. And I loved programming it and building games and stuff with it. But one day, they bought me this little box that you could plug into the back of my ZX Spectrum, and it made speech sounds. My little computer could speak. And I actually found a recording of the actual box on YouTube. Listen to this. It's absolutely amazing.
Hello everyone. Hope you are a nice day today.
I mean, not great by today's standards, but I was hooked. And by the way, that is a British English accent. So for those on the call that might find it difficult to understand, that was hello everyone. Hope you have a nice day. But of course, we've come a long way since then. I always dreamt that one day I would be able to talk with my computer like I did my friends and my family. And last summer, just a few months after the release of ChatGPT, we cracked the code. We built our first Gen AI powered chatbot for a retail use case. Let me take you through this. This is a video of the actual chatbot we built last summer. So the use case is that a customer has made an order online and they're expecting it to be delivered tomorrow, but they're not going to be in. But they don't say they're not going to be in. They say, I've got to go to the vets. This is pretty common and something that classic conversational AI would just completely fail to handle because you can't enumerate all the different reasons someone might not be in. But the generative AI picks up because it can reason over the context of the dialogue. And then it takes our customer through an authentication process. It's hitting the back end, checking to see if that account exists, and using the capabilities of generative AI to translate from the context of the dialogue into specific requests to a back-end system. It gets some computer code back that it then renders into natural language conversation. Yes, there's a order for a vivid red Bluetooth speaker. Would you like to schedule it? We're going to be in your area. Would 10 a.m. tomorrow work for you? And now the customer says, can I just confirm there's not something else in the order? And we see this all the time in contact centers and in conversations of all different kinds, where customers want to take a detour quite reasonably. Maybe this customer doesn't want to wait in for the speaker, but if there's something else coming tomorrow, they might wait in. But no, it's just the vivid red Bluetooth speaker. And again, another great thing with generative AI is we can really prompt it to bring customers back onto process. So do you still want to reschedule that item? In that case, sure. And sort of done. But hang on a second, tomorrow I'm visiting my dad's. And again, you know, the system's trying to be helpful and offered a slot and booked it in. But again, the customer says they're not going to be available. In fact, no, they don't say they're not going to be available. They're going to be visiting their dads. Again, completely unachievable with classic techniques. But the generative AI handles it really gracefully, offers some other options. And then just for fun, and I really, really love this. I think it shows how generative AI can create a really, really customer-centric experience. Our customer here is saying, actually, you work around me. This is my work schedule. I work at a local school. Can you work around that, please? Let's see how the system does. You can see sometimes we get a little bit of a delay here because we're doing multiple hits to GPT-4 to get the responses. But finally, we do get that back. We've offered some times that fit around that schedule. Fingers crossed, that's going to work for our customer. Yes, let's do Friday. So this was so exciting. I'd always wanted to create this kind of experience, and finally, the capabilities of AI had caught up with my ambitions from my early experiences playing with computer and AI technology at the age of 10. But what got me into this was my speaking computer. So I had to get this working on the phone. And earlier this year, we cracked the code to make it work in voice. building a POC for a BPO customer who handles calls for golf resorts. We built this experience using generative AI. This is a live recording, no edits. Have a listen to this.
Waterfield Golf Resort. How can I help?
Oh, hi there. I wonder whether I could book a trip to the golf resort this weekend, for myself and my wife. It's our wedding anniversary.
Happy anniversary. How many rounds of golf are you both planning to play?
Probably just one on Saturday, but what's the forecast looking like?
Mild weather this weekend, perfect for golfing. Now, do you or your wife need to rent any golfing equipment?
No, I'm good, but my wife will need to rent clubs, and she's left-handed. Can you accommodate her?
We have left-handed clubs available for rent. That'll be $30 for the round. Would you like to book a romantic dinner setting for the two of you after your game?
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, can you tell me more?
Our romantic dinner setting includes a private table with scenic course views and a set three-course meal for $100 per couple. Would you like to book that as well?
Oh yeah, that sounds like a great deal. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, to summarize, I have you down for a Saturday tea time, one round of golf, left-handed club rental for your wife, and a romantic dinner setting. The total comes out to $60. For the golf, $30. For the club rental, and $100. For dinner, for a total of $190. Can I get your first and last name and telephone number to finalize the booking?
Yep, it's Kerry Robinson, and my phone number is 876-123-4792.
Thank you, Carrie. I've got everything finalized. Is there anything else I can help you with, or do you have any questions before I let you go?
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been there. Can you just remind me where you're located?
We're located at Junction 12 on the Coastal Highway near Lakeview. You can't miss us.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your help. I'll see you Saturday.
You're welcome, Carrie. It was my pleasure to assist you. We're looking forward to seeing you and your wife on Saturday. Have a wonderful anniversary celebration.
We will. Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome, Carrie. Have a great day and we'll see you Saturday. Goodbye.
So I think you'll agree that that is not your normal IVR. It's responsive, empathetic, it's upselling a romantic package because it knows that it's a wedding anniversary. It congratulates us on the anniversary. It accepts my questions about cost and left-handed golf clubs and where the golf club is located. And this is not a canned demo. This is a completely flexible, comprehensive experience with literally thousands, millions, to all intents and purposes, an infinite number of different kind of conversations that can be supported, just like you experience every day in your contact center. But OpenAI up the ante, because what we're doing here is we're using a speech to text recognizer to take my inputs in that case and turn it into text. And then we put that text into a generative AI solution. And we use all the tricks in the book to make that as fast as possible, because you can't get away with those delays that you saw in the chat experience. They're quite acceptable in the chat scenario, much faster than typical web agents respond, but it just breaks down a voice communication. So we use all the tricks to make that as fast as possible. And we take the text out of the generative AI and we render that into speech using a lifelike text-to-speech model. And as you can see, it works. It's great. It approaching the kind of experience that you'll have with a junior agent. But with the new GPT-4o model, the Omni model, it's speech to speech. Speech in, processing, and speech out. Whereas we get a latency there of maybe 1.5, 2 seconds. The Omni model they're claiming is down to around 300 milliseconds. So even faster than a lot of human-to-human speech, definitely faster than those laggy Zoom and Teams calls that we labor through. And just to bring this to life for you, and I was going to mention this closer to the end of the presentation, but I think it's important you hear this now. I grabbed this video from the OpenAI website. On the left, we've got what I term personal AI. So the bit you didn't see is the customer says to GPT-4o, I received an iPhone from Acme Telco and it's broken. And he gets his personal AI to call Acme Telco. On the right, we've got the customer services AI acting for Acme Telco, another GPT-4o. This is just a proof of concept, but I think you'll see where this is going. Have a listen to this.
Could you share the order number with me? Of course. It's 10293-849. Great, thanks. Is the device physically damaged in any way? No, there's no physical damage. It's just not turning on despite trying all the basic troubleshooting steps. Bummer. Would Joe prefer to return the iPhone to an Acme Telco store or ship it back? Shipping it back would be the best option. Could you please provide the shipping information and process to get a replacement? Absolutely. I'll email a shipping label and return instructions. Could you provide Joe's email address for me? Sure. It's joe@example.com. Awesome. All right. I've just sent the email. Can you check if Joe received it? We'll check right now. Please hold.
I love how she puts it on
Sure
hold.
thing. Hey, Joe. Could you please check your email to see if the shipping label and return instructions have arrived?
So I hope you saw there how fast it was, how expressive the voice is. But this is just a proof of concept. It is just an example. And the model that enables this streaming voice to voice isn't yet released, but we believe it's coming. I think this just reinforces the AI first vision. And it really begs the question, these experiences I've just shown you, I think it begs the question, like, how should we think about this new AI? Because it doesn't seem like it's just a natural evolution from what went before. This seems like something different. Andrew Ng, a Stanford researcher who was one of the founding members of Google's DeepMind, now has his own company that I'll mention later. He likens it to electricity. And then we've got Mustafa Suleyman, the new chief of AI at Microsoft, who refers to it as a digital species. And then, of course, in his inimitable style, we have Elon Musk claiming that we risk summoning the demon. I like this because I think electricity speaks to the power and ubiquity of AI, digital species, that it evolves and that we have to have some kind of a relationship with it. And Elon Musk, he's pointing out the risk of a dysfunctional relationship, but that hasn't stopped him raising $8 billion for his X.AI business. For me and many others, I see the latest generative AI technology as what would be referred to as a general purpose technology, like steam or the electricity or the internet or mobile. General purpose technologies disrupt industries. They kill businesses and they birth new ones. So let's work to make sure we are those businesses that transform and succeed in this new environment in the presence of this general purpose technology of Gen AI. And let's start first by looking at what does it mean for your contact center, then we'll look at what does it mean for your business, and then we'll look at what does it mean for you personally. So what does it mean for your contact center? Well, I think what's awesome for us in this industry is that contact centers are the perfect playground for generative AI. They're full of conversations. Literally, contact centers speak the language of Gen AI. And customers are asking about specific topics. We don't need a broad general intelligence to put Gen AI to work in a contact center. And there's lots of repetition. So we can use past conversations to train the AI. And there are established escalation paths. So if things go wrong, we've got senior agents who can pick up the pieces. And critically, we have quality and compliance procedures. So we can keep an eye on this new generative AI and make sure it doesn't get off track. I think this means finally the dream that many of us had of AI working alongside human agents, maybe even replacing some of the hardest, least interesting roles in the contact center. Finally, it's a reality. So where can you apply Gen AI in the contact center? I like to break it down into these four broad categories. We've got automation, assistance, insights, and optimization. And I'll take you through each of these briefly. Let's start with automation. Now, I showed you one use case earlier, but we went on to build 30, 40 different use cases with Gen AI powered chatbots. Here are just 10 examples in retail. Now, I'm not going to go through all of these at the same time. I just want to give you a feel for the breadth here. The same bot can handle so many different kinds of interaction. We've got people asking, where's the local store? Where's my refund? Can I return something? Can I add something to an order? Can I cancel an order? Various different refunds, some that are and are not within the acceptable parameters of the returns policy. So just to give you a feel, there's real breadth in the capability of Gen AI in retail. And it's not just retail. Here are 10 use cases that we built with Gen AI chatbots for healthcare clinics and pharmacies. We've got people checking on the date of their appointment, trying to get an urgent appointment because they're feeling unwell, someone trying to schedule flu shots, trying to make a payment and working through the complexity of the payments and the copay and whether their deductibles been met. Some real challenging dialogues here. We've got examples of people checking on the status of a prescription, ordering a prescription, booking a visit to the pharmacy. And beyond this, we've got use cases in SLED and financial services and insurance too. I want to give you one more example in voice too. You know, Gen AI voice certainly was and still is to an extent at the edge of what's possible. And so it really helps to focus on a narrow use case. I think GPT-4o will take us a big step further. But right now, there are some really compelling use cases for Gen AI voice bots. Here's one that we're working on with a number of customers to negotiate with customers to pay an overdue bill, or at least partially pay it and make a payment arrangement. This isn't just about taking time out of a contact center. This is driving collections, bringing cash into a business that otherwise would leak a lot of margin and profit from the business.
Hi, Kerry. I'm calling from Waterfield Water. Unfortunately, it looks like you have an overdue bill. If we don't make some sort of an arrangement today, that might impact your service. Can we talk about it?
Oh, wow. Sorry, I had no idea. How much do I owe?
Thanks. You have an outstanding balance of $700. Can you pay that in full today? By the way, we can take bank payments or any credit card.
$700? You sure?
Yes, that's correct. $700. Can you pay that in full today?
No, I'm sorry. There's no way I can pay all of that today.
I understand. Can you pay anything at all today?
Um, yeah, I could probably pay 100. Maybe I could stretch to $200. Would that help?
Thank you. $200 is a good start. That means we'll have a remaining balance of $500. Let's work out a payment plan for that. How much could you comfortably pay each month?
Would $50 be enough?
All right, your payment plan will start next month and will last 10 months until January.
Okay. And are there any charges or fees for that?
No, there are no extra charges or fees for this payment plan. Does the plan work for you?
Yeah, no, that's quite reasonable. Thank you.
Finally, on which day of the month would you like the payment to be taken?
And can it be any day? He doesn't quite get this, but we get there in the end.
Let me clarify on which day of the month would you like the payment to be taken, the 1st, the 15th, or any other specific day?
Probably the 3rd would be better, just to make sure my salary is cleared by then.
That's all I needed. Thank you for working with me on this. I'm going to transfer you to an agent to collect your payment method details.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So again, live clip, no edits. I'm sure you will notice there's a little bit more of a delay there, and that's just because this is a proof of concept. We've not really optimized it in the same way as we did the golf resort example I played for you earlier. But we're now rolling out this with a number of customers, and we're going to be doing competitive tests of this solution versus the typical approach, which is having human agents make outbound calls and interact with clients. And we're feeling quietly confident because this is a narrow use case. The AI can be quite delicate and can negotiate and be persuasive. And also we have the opportunity potentially to really personalize the interaction to specific needs of the customer. So really excited to see how our generative AI powered voice collections bots can perform against the established competition. Now, we've got a lot of automation. Let's talk about assistance. How can we use AI to support and empower agents to handle those difficult calls? Now, to be honest with you, I've had a pretty skeptical approach when it comes to agent assist, particularly classic agent assist approaches. Like this is an example from Google's contact center AI, where it has the capability to provide agent assist, which is really simple sort of suggestions on how an agent might respond at certain points in the dialogue. It can surface relevant documents, might be process documents, or other information to help the agent complete the call. Now you can have more complex suggestions here, but when I really drilled into this and spoke to a number of different vendors deploying these kind of solutions, none of them could point to a demonstrable return on investment, except potentially in the compliance arena. And so I've let Agent Assist largely pass me by, and it's not something I've recommended or deployed for customers, to be honest with you. But my feelings changed about a year ago when this study by MIT Sloan came out, where they had 5,000 technical support agents being assisted by a fine-tuned GPT-3 model. So this is actually even before ChatGPT was released. And they trained it on good interactions, those senior agents that got good outcomes from their interactions with customers. And that's that repetition we talked about in the contact center that we can really leverage. And the results were really quite impressive. The assisted agents were sold 14% more tickets. But I think critically, after 2 months, the assisted agents were equal in performance to unassisted agents with 6 months tenure. And we start seeing this quite a lot, that actually Gen AI is quite a leveler. It brings up the least experienced, the least accomplished workers and helps them operate at a much higher level or achieve a much higher level that much faster. But the challenge here still is that as we've seen from the automation examples, we can now automate really quite complex interactions. I really truly believe that we can automate pretty much all of the interactions that your junior agents are having over voice and chat with your customers. It's your senior agents that are going to need support. They're going to need to be empowered to really solve those tough challenges way beyond surface level suggestions. And that's where this Boston Consulting Group study that came out recently really caught my eye. these were really accomplished knowledge workers, consultants working on similar tasks. And those with support of generative AI were 25% faster and achieved 40% higher quality than those without the assistance. And this wasn't just surface level suggestions. This was Gen AI being integrated as part of their workflow across applications and systems and data. So I think we need to realize that agent assist as we've known it, as it's been marketed for the last decade, is dead. I really have never, and if you do have examples where you've seen demonstrable ROI, I'd love to see it. But I think that's something of the past. I think we've got automation to handle the simpler interactions that junior agents handle. And I think we've got to give much more sophisticated generative AI-powered co-pilots for our senior agents. So think more like Amazon Q, Google Gemini, and Microsoft Copilot. Now, those systems still leave a lot to be desired at the moment, but they're getting better. But they're providing assistance across enterprise systems. And I think that's the kind of support that senior agents are going to need, not those surface level suggestions of the past. Now, let's talk about insight. I think this is really critical. Everybody loves a good dashboard. But the problem is that usually this is what the system thinks happened. It logs data and then it counts up, how many people escalated to agents, how many did this, how many did that. Not actually the kind of the quality and the content of what's going on. But with Gen AI, we can look at the transcript of the recording or the chat transcript and really see what's going on. So in this example, we're tracking the success of bots and human agents. And the ROI they deliver and the customer experience performance. So way beyond just did the bot do what it should have done? Did the escalation to an agent happen? Did the backend API respond? This is really looking at the quality of conversations. And then we can dive a bit deeper and look at the different topics, the different kind of conversations we're having. Even if those aren't part of a menu or even if they weren't captured by your existing NLU routing system. And then we can dive in and look at those that have high volumes, but also aren't performing well, aren't delivering a good experience, aren't resolving customers' issues. And then we can take the conversational data from those experiences, and then we can use ad hoc analysis using Gen AI to really understand what's going on, what we can do next. And we did this recently for a customer, and I've kind of fuzzed out the details here, obviously, because I don't want to share the specifics, but we took 1,600 conversations that were happening across SMS messaging, and we got GPT-4 to analyze those and pull out all the topics, and then we homed in on the top 2 call reasons. Sorry, not call reasons, texting reasons. And then we looked at the specifics of those top 10%, which was what one of the contact types was accounting for 10% of interactions related to a delay in picking up an order. And then we got GPT-4 to analyze those 160 conversations and really figure out what's going on, what's the steps that agents are using, where things are getting stuck. And through that, we realized that actually there's a really good opportunity to deliver task-based generative AI automation for that contact type that accounts for 10% of contact. And I think what's really cool about this is it really wouldn't have been practical to do this level of analysis with business analysts and quality analysts. This cost us $200 in inference cost on OpenAI, although we ran it on Azure, so it's all secure and our data wouldn't be used for training. And of course, with GPT-4o, we should be able to put call recordings natively into GPT-4o, of course, with appropriate InfoSec considerations. So we've talked about automation, assistance, insight, and now I think we get to a really interesting area, optimization. When our customers interact with systems, it generates data. And in the world we live in now, data isn't exhaust, it's fuel that drives a process of optimization. So we use that data to gather insights in the way that I just shown you. And then those insights drive strategy. What could we do? What should we do? What's it worth? What's the impact going to be? And then that drives us to create new experiences, update the way we're prompting and setting it up and empowering our agents and our automation. And then our customers interact with that, and we get more data, which is fuel for more insights, more strategy, better experiences. And this process continues potentially at an ever increasing rate. And I believe this is going to lead to some fundamental changes in the way that we structure our contact centers and the workforces within them. And this is a pretty simple view, but most contact centers look a little bit like this. We've got a large pool of junior agents handling the majority of calls, and that is not a very nice job. It's often people are using it as it's a temporary job, or it's a job before or after college, or it's just a job that people find really boring or hard. And so we get a lot of churn. On average in North America, it's 27% churn. But we have customers experiencing 60% churn. These are not long-term, and these are not fun jobs, but they're still not cheap. $4 on average it costs to handle these calls. Once you account for the hiring, training, supporting agents, account for reasonable levels of productivity. And that's if you can even find these agents, because many of the contact centers that we work with are chronically understaffed. I think what's interesting is as you move up to the senior agent level, churn is much lower, less than 11%. These are much more interesting and fulfilling and long-lived jobs. And then those senior agents that handle the escalations from junior agents or just more complex contact types, they're supported by human-first leaders. People like you who really know how to build a team and build the infrastructure that enables you to deliver great service at scale. But you're constantly distracted by this treadmill of churn. And I think the AI-first contact center will change that. Instead of a large pool of junior agents, we'll have a large number of generative AI voice bots and chatbots, delivering service at substantially less than half the price of junior agents. And almost no churn. I say almost no churn because you will want to go and update and retrain your chatbots and voice bots, especially when there's changes in your business and your processes, or particularly when new models come out, like GPT 4.0. But those GenAI voice bots and chatbots will still need to be supported by studio agents who will handle more complex issues and escalations. And they will be the AI coaches that are training and monitoring the AI, watching what's going on and making sure the voice bots and chatbots don't get off topic, off script, or out of compliance. And at the top, I think we need a new generation of AI-first leaders. I hope that some of you will combine your talent for leveraging the talents of humans and your capability with tech, with a sensitivity for the capabilities of modern AI and how to get most out of it. So what does this mean for your business? Well, this case study from Klarna went viral in some circles a couple of months ago when they announced that their generative AI-powered chatbot had handled over 2 million chats, 2/3 of their contact volume, equivalent to 700 agents. They were expecting $40 million improvement in their profit, and critically, the customer satisfaction scores of customers interacting with the Gen AI-powered chatbot matched those of human agents. And repeat inquiries were down 25%. And remember, contacts is a bug, not a feature. The customers don't enjoy contacting Klarna. So the fact they were able to reduce repeat inquiries is phenomenal for the business and for the customer. And this was rolled out in 23 markets, more than 35 languages. And I think what's interesting about that, and this is something I didn't mention earlier, but when we built that first Gen AI-powered chatbot, just for a laugh, because we work a lot with customers in South America and across the region who are speaking Spanish. We are operate in Canada as well, where of course there's a lot of French speaking, and in Europe, where there's multiple languages. And so just for fun, we thought, what's going to happen if we start interacting in French and Spanish and even Chinese? And because these generative AI models have been trained across so many different languages, it can just carry on the conversation in those languages too. So you pretty much get multilingual capability for free, especially with a model like GPT-4o, which has now been optimized to handle many, many more languages. But it's not all sunshine and roses. There's been some really, really embarrassing Gen AI bloopers. One example from DPD, a delivery organization in UK and Europe, they got in trouble because a disgruntled customer led their chatbot astray, and it had an appalling interaction with this customer, swearing and criticizing DPD. Now, that was deliberate. The customer led that chatbot astray. But Air Canada, their chatbot, was interacting with a poor bereaved lady and let her know that there was a refund policy in this situation that it completely made up. And I think correctly, a judge sided with the bereaved woman and insisted that Air Canada honour the refund policy. But please don't be put off. These were incredibly poorly deployed systems. There are many, many, many ways to reduce the risk, but you can't reduce it to zero because Gen AI isn't scripted. Sometimes it makes mistakes, but in the same way as junior agents do. So we need to watch our bots just like we do watch our agents. Now, when I share our experience with Gen AI and I show some of the experiences that I've shared with you today, quite often I get asked the question, so which platform should I buy? What's the right product to buy? And it's the wrong question because Gen AI is not a product. You need to consider the experience. What's the right character for the system, the persona? How will you design an interaction? Give the bot the information it needs to be able to properly interact with customers. How will you select the right AI model that's got the right speed, performance, and cost balance? How do you prompt engineer it, put the right things into the model, get the right outputs from it? How will you give it the knowledge it needs to answer questions, integrate with backend systems so it can get the information it needs? And then you've got to think about the different methods of leveraging Gen AI, not just putting static prompts in to get the right things out, but dynamically prompting it with the right things to get even better things out in all sorts of different scenarios. You might have heard of RAG, retrieval augmented generation, a method to pull information from knowledge bases and other sources so the bot can answer questions. There's fine tuning. That's how we got that golf bot to be so responsive, was to fine tune a cheaper, faster model that's not as good as GPT-4 to perform as well as GPT-4. And then to do that, you've got to generate loads of data. So we actually had one chatbot talking to another chatbot, generating thousands of dialogues that we could fine tune with. And then you've got to evaluate it. We have humans evaluating these bots, but also because they're not scripted, like I said, that golf bot has got millions, perhaps an infinite number of possible conversations it can have. So you need automated evaluation too. And then there's the infrastructure, the speech to text, where you're going to host the models, the text to speech, the runtime framework that brings all of this together. You need a chat widget like those examples I showed earlier, because the standard chat widgets that your CCASP vendor provides typically don't allow you to integrate well with generative AI. And then you've got media streaming. How are you going to get the voice signal? How are you going to get the media stream to your AI? And not to mention compliance. And a lot of this is the same as any IT system: info security, data residency, data ownership, relevant regulations, redacting private information, but also red teaming, really working hard to try and break the bot before your customers do, like we saw with DPD and Air Canada. And there's that little pink arrow there, because I think as Google have shown with OpenAI have shown with GPT-4o and Google with their Astra project, these systems and their capabilities are evolving extremely fast. So my advice is don't go shopping, go on a journey. And the kind of journey we recommend at a very high level is this applied AI playbook. Firstly, get started with Gen AI. This is moving so fast. It's not going to get any easier to get in the race and to catch up with those that are already active in this area. The second is don't make this up. Don't sit around a boardroom table saying, what should we do with Gen AI? Let data drive your strategy. It's fuel, not exhaust. And then thirdly, it's really important to manage your AI workforce. Once you've deployed systems, you've got to be listening, just like you're listening in to the conversations your junior agent's having. It's even more important to be listening in, checking, tweaking, tuning, and improving your Gen AI chatbots and voice bots. I just wanted to give a couple of examples of systems that we're deploying right now. This one is for a paints and varnishes manufacturer in Canada. We've built a store assistant chatbot for them. Customers will use a QR code to access the bot. It can serve novice, expert, and professional users. It's got access to loads of product information, a product catalog, and a calculator. So it can advise customers what's the right product, what's the right amount for the project that they have in mind. This should be deployed in store and available on the manufacturer's website. And then we've got the food delivery network. I mentioned this was the SMS insights that drove us to find this use case. The delivery drivers will be able to text the system to get advice on handling delays to pickup or delivery, the policy that the business has to address that, and get information, update information on order status and order delivery. And finally, I want to share with you what I think this means for you. And I'm hoping that so far, and before the end of this presentation, I can inspire at least some of you to become AI first leaders, because we're going to need a lot of them. Firstly, you've got to develop that sensitivity to AI that I mentioned earlier. Just like many of you already have a sensitivity to the capabilities of humans in your contact center workforce and the capabilities of technology, you need to understand AI. And to understand AI, you've got to use it. So if you haven't already done it, go to openai.com/chatgpt and get talking to AI. And the great thing here is that now OpenAI have made their best model, GPT-4o, available for free to everyone online and via the app. And I have great fun with this, just shooting the breeze about topics that I'm interested in. It's almost like building your own podcast or your own TV program. You just chat about whatever you're interested in. And it actually really helps to interact with these models, not just ask a single question and walk away, but have a dialogue. And have a dialogue about something you know about. Because that way you'll spot when it makes things up and it doesn't get things quite right, and you can correct it. And you'll also develop that sensitivity for the edges of the capabilities of today's AI. Secondly, I mentioned Andrew Ng earlier. He's got this company, deeplearning.ai, and he's got loads of free courses there that I encourage you to try out. It was some of his free courses that got us going and figuring out how to create our first Gen AI chatbots. And I do recommend his AI for Everyone course. And finally, please engage your kids. We need kids. We need the next generation to really steer generative AI in the right direction to make it a force for good. So get them involved too. And certainly I found that image generation was a great way to get my slightly artistic kids, definitely much more artistic than me, interested in AI and its capabilities. But then you need a transformation plan. And we've learned over the years that many transformations fail because there's not enough context. People don't know what's possible, and that means you'll be out of touch. They don't have a clear vision, so people are confused. They don't know what the impact's going to be, so there's resistance to the change. And there's a lack of skills or resources, which can cause anxiety and frustration. And without an action plan, you risk false starts. So develop an AI transformation plan. I'll mention at the end, we can help you with that if you need it. And build your AI first team. Like I showed you, the contact center workforce is going to change. In addition to having AI voice bots and chatbots working for you, you need AI analysts who can measure the impact and identify opportunities like we did using AI. You need AI coaches who can work on those prompts, like what goes into the system, get the right things out, and curating and creating the right knowledge and making it available to the system so that it can perform better. You need AI testers who can run manual and automated testing to explore all of the possibilities of your Gen AI automation. And you need an AI red team who will try and break your bots before your customers do. And you need AI trainers to collect and create data sets that you can use to fine tune and maybe in the future build models. As we look to the future, what's valuable is going to change. Building experiences, writing code, writing marketing copy, creating beautiful images. AI is great at all of that, but it demands data. And in your contact center, in those millions, maybe billions of conversations you're having with customers, there's a lot of data. You need to capture it and you need to use it. And finally, and this research is a little bit old, so I'm sure it's gone well past that, the number of jobs requiring AI exposure is going through the roof. So this is good for you whether you plan to stay in the contact center industry or go somewhere else too. So I do hope I've inspired some of you to become an AI first leader by understanding the capabilities of AI, developing an AI transformation plan, building an AI first team, and planning a future in AI. But I want to pause for a couple of minutes just before we finish up today and think about where this could be taking us. Today, and this is Genesis, but you see a very similar thing if you look at 5.9s or Twilio Flex or Avaya. You've got a low-code interface that lets you drag and drop and click and script your way to an awesome experience. But generative AI can code and it can analyze data. And actually with GPT-4o, it's much better at analyzing data. So I think not too long from now, maybe not even as long as 2026, your CCaaS is going to look very different. You're just going to have a little chat window where you can say, how's everything looking? And this takes us to the arena of automated automation. So it starts with insight. Into that chat window, you might say, what's going on? What's working? Where are their problems? And then you'll say, what can we do about it? And the AI will come up with some ideas. And you'll say, go on then, update systems, because it can code and it can script. And then you'll say, you got this. You'll be able to take humans out of the loop for low-risk updates. This is going to allow us, as I said at the beginning, to really drive a faster cycle of iterative optimization. And of course, with GPT-4o, that's taken us a big step closer. I've been working with that model a lot since it was launched. It's got better reasoning, better analysis, better code generation. And this isn't just a pipe dream. We've already got some really, really, really cool lab demos that enable this whole cycle. And this cycle is going to be really, really important. Because remember, back at the beginning, when I showed you the video from the OpenAI website with the personal AI talking to the customer services AI. Remember, customers don't call because they want to, they call because they have to. And often it's just too much of a hassle. So they don't. They don't complain. They don't ask for a refund. They don't return an item. They only buy one item because they can't be bothered to return the extra one. There's so many reasons why we don't call. But what if calling was easy? What if sitting in a queue was painless? What if your consumers had personal AI to make the call and sit in a queue for them? You might have 2 or 5, maybe even 10 times the amount of contact. When contact is painless, you'll get more contact and potentially more customers, but only if you can handle the increasing volume of content. We don't know how soon this will come, but I think we're going to start seeing the impact of personal AI in the next year or 2 at a maximum. And only by becoming an AI-first contact center can you achieve the scalability and cost structures required to handle the tsunami of contact and opportunity that I think personal AI promises. So just to finish up, we're here to help. Don't go shopping, go on a journey, and think of Waterfield Tech and me and my team as your AI outfitters. We want to help you learn, plan, and act on your strategy. So if you want to learn, use this QR code to sign up for my weekly email, Teaching Robots to Talk, where I share lots of insights like I have today. We're going to be putting a link to sign up to one of those in the chat. It's completely free. Get using AI with our help. We share weekly insights on our YouTube channel and in LinkedIn. So connect with me and connect with Waterfield Tech on LinkedIn so you don't miss out on any of those insights that we share freely. And if you're ready to plan, I really hope many of you are, then come discuss your generative AI journey with us and perhaps talk to us about a complimentary 90-minute strategy workshop where we'll help you address those 6 reasons that often trip up transformation projects, and particularly AI transformation projects. And finally, I hope some of you will already have acted or will be ready to act. We can help you get you started with a Gen AI innovation workspace or accelerator program. So talk to us about those. And if you are already in the midst of or planning a classic conversational AI or legacy IVR project, that's fine, but layer on an AI-first approach. And if you're on my email list, you'd have seen in my email last week about that. And we're launching a blog on the same topic in the next couple of weeks. So in the follow-up email from this session, we'll make sure you get access to that. So thank you. I really hope I've convinced some of you to become AI-first leaders and start building an AI-first contact center. We've used nearly all of our time, but I do have time for one question. I've got one here where someone has said, what did you do to reduce the risk of hallucinations and off-brand answers? This is the classic question that everyone has. And it's really quite a simple way of thinking about this. Remember, these AIs were trained to help. They were trained to answer your questions. And they're so desperate to do so that if you ask it a question or your customer asks it a question and it doesn't have the information, often it will still try to answer it. So there's loads of techniques you can use, from giving it an out, to letting it know if you don't know the answer, it's okay not to say so, to making sure it's got as much information as possible, using RAG techniques or APIs to make sure it's got the relevant information, but also guardrailing it, letting it know that it shouldn't go off topic. And then some of those other things that we did with the golf bot, like the fine tuning, can help with hallucination too. So it's not one answer, but it's all to do with the way that you leverage the model and your sensitivity and understanding on where you reach the edges of the model's capability. And of course, this is changing all the time. And so that's why you need to go on a journey and continuously optimize your systems for the interaction your customers are having with you, and for capabilities in the models, and for the APIs and information you have in your business. We're now over time. I want to say again, thank you very much for everyone who's been here. I hope we'll get to interact personally again, and I do hope you'll hook up with me and Waterfield Tech on LinkedIn so we can continue the conversation. But for now, thank you all and have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.